After months of being on the edge of my seat as the first trailer dropped, I finally saw Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in theaters right before Christmas Eve, and that is the only movie I will be talking about today because it is the only big one that was released on December 20th.
I have a secret, Mufasa.
Mufasa the Lion King is the #1 movie in the world.
Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow.
Okay, I guess I should give my brief thoughts on the first two Sonic movies before I touch upon this new one. The first Sonic movie is fine enough for me. Yeah, it's better than most other video game adaptations, the performances are good, the locations look visually stunning, and Sonic's design looks great and blends in the live-action world very well. I'm so glad they listened to the criticism, otherwise this whole series could have been a flippin' disaster. However, I don't love this movie as much as others, feeling like a typical cartoon character in the real-world type film, a category which I am not a fan of, but I do think this was one of the better ones. I enjoyed Sonic's friendship with Tom, his rivalry with Robotnik, and of course the action scenes were absolutely incredible and easily some of the film's highlights, but I really wish this movie had more to do with the franchise it was based on. Luckily, Sonic 2 fixes that issue by going all out with the fan service by introducing Tails and Knuckles to this universe in ways that pay homage to Sonic 2 and 3 Genesis so well. Obviously, this movie isn't perfect as there's a handful of unnecessary scenes like the wedding, the Uptown Funk dance scene, and of course moments that just scream, "How do you do, fellow kids?" But the action scenes more than make up for it, and Sonic's friendship arcs with Tails and Knuckles are both really wholesome in their own right, and after watching that post-credits scene in theaters, you know I was craving more, and for the past few months, I was very hyped for the third entry in this film series, and wow what a joyride it has been. From getting a preview of Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog, to getting a preview of the many action scenes this movie had to offer, to the fantastic marketing and promotional material, and just about everything they showcased to us in the trailers, minus the unfunny reference humor and some lame jokes, everything else was more than enough to make this one of my top 5 most anticipated movies of the year, and after days of narrowly avoiding spoilers online, I finally got a chance to go to the movies and see the film for myself, and after watching it for the first time, I almost got everything I could have wanted out of not just a Sonic movie, but from a video game adaptation in general. Not only did this movie live up to so many of my expectations going into it, but it really surprised me with how the plot was adapted from Sonic Adventure 2 in ways that made the movie feel like it was almost telling its own version of the story, which is easily these movies' strong suits when it comes to the specific games they are adapting from. I might as well get this issue out of the way and say that a lot of the jokes, especially the reference humor, isn't very funny, but humor was never really a great thing about this film series, and I kind of expected that with this movie. First off, they really did shadow justice in terms of Keanu Reeves' portrayal and his overall character in general. Being that the director of these movies, Jeff Fowler, wanted to capture the character of Shadow from the games while also making him engaging to people outside the Sonic fandom, it made sense why they would cast someone who has a role in playing the John Wick, one of the most tragic characters in film history, and boy does that show when you not only see how the character is portrayed in the film, but how the voice is delivered overall. Throughout his scenes, Keanu really puts a lot of grudge and determination into his character, which really succeeds in making him not only a threat, but also getting you to sympathize with where his violent tendencies stem from. And I really feel like his backstory with Maria was handled so emotionally well, to the point where I think anyone could really feel the trauma that caused him pain for such a long time. Alila Brown gives Maria such an innocent and caring vibe, and it makes her moments with Shadow just feel so heartwarming, as she is the only one who gives him any sense of warmth and comfort, that I actually almost cried when it came to that moment.
Can you see on me? Walk into my mystery. Step inside
When it comes to the other Sonic villain introduced in this entry, Gerald Robotnik, aka Dr. Robotnik's grandpa, many people worried that it would be an oversaturation of Jim Carrey in this movie, due to the actor playing two characters in the exact same film, which is almost never a good thing when that happens.
Oh, she's not talking to us still, I guess.
I am not talking to you!
Adam Sandler plays a guy and his sister, and it's just awful. It's unwatchable. But
However, this is one of the rare times where it's actually done right, because both characters have their own unique personality despite constantly being on screen together, as their relationship goes through dynamic changes throughout the course of the movie that actually surprised me on not only how they handled Gerald Robotnik in this cinematic universe, but how they handled Dr. Robotnik / Eggman in this movie as well. Not only do we get to see an interesting new side to him, but his relationship with Team Sonic in this movie was not only written way better than the previous two films, but his interactions with them, Gerald, and Agent Stone took a bunch of twists and turns that led to an ending I was not expecting at all. Speaking of Sonic, I really love what they do with expanding his character from the previous films, as well as his relationships with Tails, Knuckles, and even the human characters Tom and Maddie, as I am actually one of the few that actually like them in this series. I get that a lot of the human characters are kind of the issue when it comes to these movies, but I always thought these two were fine enough and never overstayed their welcome. Plus, I really think their parent-son relationship is really cute and wholesome. I love seeing this family bond, and I love how the emphasis on how much family matters to Sonic is put on his character arc in this movie. Not only does it showcase how much he truly cares for his friends and family, but this entry showcases a more violent side of him when someone really decides to mess with them, and it even gave us moments that put his friendship with Tails and Knuckles to the test, and you can completely understand why too. From the beginning of the series, we already saw that Sonic lost his original caretaker and only family, Longclaw, whom he still grieves over the loss of in the second and even this third film. So a member of his newfound family getting hurt by someone, driving him to want revenge just like Shadow and Gerald, just gives us a more dark side of the character, rather than the normal wisecracking and friendly Hedgehog we've come to know and love, and I absolutely love it when writers can make a character like that without straying too far away from his usual character the audience is used to. This is all shown through a lot of high-stakes moments and action sequences of the film, and speaking of the action scenes, they're of course some of the movie's biggest highlights on top of the really engaging story, as the shots go absolutely nuts, especially during Shadow's escape from Prison Island, the fight between Team Sonic and Shadow, and especially that sweet, sweet climax that I will say nothing about, but damn do I really want to, because that alone makes me have the strong belief that this is not only the greatest Sonic movie, but one of the greatest video game movies of all time, period. On top of all that, the fan service in this movie is absolutely incredible. Not only are a lot of the best aspects of Sonic Adventure 2 present in this film, such as the beautiful recreation of Prison Island, the Chow Garden being sort of like a Chuck E. Cheese type place, and an incredible remix of the popular Sonic OST Live and Learn, but we also get stuff such as Shadow's Dark Rider motorcycle from Shadow the Hedgehog 2005, and you have to stick around for the 2 post-credit scenes, yes 2, as they will leave you craving for more if you love the movie as much as I do. In my eyes, if you can create an adaptation that not only delivers an incredible amount of fan service while also making a good movie for everyone, especially people outside the fandom for those video game franchises to enjoy, that's when you know you made a pretty damn good adaptation, and all of the Sonic movies, especially Sonic 3, really lands in that territory. A very solid 9 out of 10. If upcoming sequels such as a Super Mario Bros. Movie 2 and Five Nights at Freddy's 2 can adapt the best aspects from the Sonic movies and truly make films for everyone and not just fans of those franchises, I probably wouldn't be any happier. And you know for a fact I'm going to go watch Sonic the Hedgehog 4 when it releases in 2027. Anyways, what do you guys think? Does this video make you want to go see the movie? Do you agree with my takes? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more reviews and analysis videos on media, animation, gaming, and more. And keep calm and live and learn.